country telling eye-watering jokes in as few as 2 floors. But we once entertained a car full of conventioneers stuck on the 14th floor for 40 minutes.
Call your favorite hotel and tell them that you want the Elevator Comics on your next ride. We're the hottest new act in the laughing world.
I seen Springer and Galvin in a hotel elevator in Jackson, Mississippi, and they was hilarious. Best 2-floor ride of my life.
Hey, Jerry, what were you saying to that guy in the lobby?
He was telling me he just bought the best hearing aid money can buy. I said, yeah, what kind is it? He said 4 o'clock.
The Elevator Comics were fast, topical, and usually family-friendly. But when the sun goes down, so do we. Our sizzling adult set starts nightly at 9.
The Elevator Comics. You'll never take the stairs again.
Guy says to me the other day on one of the rides, ballroom, please. I said, sorry, I didn't know I was crowding you. Okay, 6th floor, folks. Enjoy your stay and call the front desk if you need extra towels. Watch your step getting off. We forgot to pay the insurance bill.
Elevator Comics are brought to you by Up and Down Productions.
Welcome to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery starring Jerry Springer, along with Gene Galvin and me. I'm Megan Hills. We're recorded live in front of a brilliant studio audience at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky.
My daddy came home.
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, very far away. I'm Megan Hills introducing Jerry Springer.
Well, thank you, Megan. Megan, where are you?
I'm in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, we do the podcast here in Ludlow, Kentucky.
Yeah, I got that wrong. My bad, Jer. My bad.
Yeah. No, what happened? Because you said you would be here.
I thought I was going to be there. However, some airlines had some other plans for me, so I'm still in Orlando.
Were you thrown off the plane?
I wasn't thrown off the plane. All of us were thrown off the plane. The whole thing got from a 12 p.m. flight to a 4:30 flight. It was quite delightful.
Wow, so It was like they overbooked and threw all of you off?
All of us, yes, one by one. We all got escorted off. Some of us got tased. It was quite delightful.
I got you, yeah.
How many people do they put on a plane?
I didn't really get tased, Jer. I'm just teasing.
He can't, Megan. He can't relate to any of this because he. Jerry's a man of the people. You know, he has one Gulf shirt and one Gulfstream airplane.
Gulfstream, yep.
Yeah, my plane landed just fine at Lunkin today.
Yeah. Well, we don't have the life. None of us have your life, Jer. So you know.
No, I'm just saying.
No, I'm stuck down here in Orlando.
I'm just advising you to
day.
buy a plane. Don't be silly.
Well, I'll talk to my boss about that, Jerry.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Megan, I said to Jerry when I heard you were going to be delayed, like until tomorrow morning you're delayed, I said, well, send the Gulfstream down. And he said, Megan, who? Oh. Yeah. Who is this, Megan?
I totally believe that, Gene.
Yeah.
Hey, Megan, this is disturbing, and Jerry as well. So I get emails, and some of them are really kind of nice, and, you know, they always say how much they love Megan and that she's sort of a calming influence and all that. No, Megan, basically. And I got this, but Megan, I got this email, and it says, it's from Carolyn from Portland, Oregon. And it says, I've been on your website and listened to the raft of recorded phone calls to your show's answering service. I've heard calls from First Lady Melania Trump,
right,
Ann Coulter, some right-wing whack named Denise Compton, Britney Spears, Kellyanne Conway, and others. Question, says Carolyn from Portland, Oregon. Are these real or fake? Or is Gene throwing his voice? If it's Gene doing these impersonations, he's damn good. Props to Gene. Megan, of course, are you doing them, Jerry?
Those calls are as real as my show.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, I would say the same thing. The calls are as accurate and legitimate as Jerry's show. Yeah.
No, and they are, as far as we know, those are the people. All we know is they come on.
They
to
looked
the
us up
answering
in the
machine.
yellow pages. Do
And
they
then
have yellow pages?
In the
there
yellow
are no
pages. Stop it.
And my wife, Bonnie, said, is Megan doing those? And I said, Megan is a businesswoman. Megan has a professional career. It's not likely she's doing like vaudeville, goofy stuff or doing fake stuff. And I've never heard you do anything like that anyway.
No, these
so we're not
Not
putting
at all.
that. We're not
Correct.
putting
That's
that
too
on
tawdry, Gene. I don't do tawdry.
you. No, that's right. Hey, David. Bruce, our technical producer, just handed me this. Hang on a second. David, you just got apparently this just came in. This is what I call a rip and read. I'm just going to read this. I haven't.
Yeah, you
pre-read.
haven't read it yet,
No,
is what you're saying.
It's, oh my God, this is. Check this out. It's on the corporate letterhead.
Oh,
it's
not
from
good.
the director of programming, Jason Dolliver.
Oh,
Who the hell is that?
He's the head of
Oh,
programming.
that's the guy that at that meeting just sat and looked at us the whole time.
Oh, right.
Remember?
Ruh-roh.
Yeah.
While Jody, the head of the company, was
Yeah.
talking, he just stared at us. It says, quote,
He's not comfortable with us.
I don't think he is. It says, it's come to our attention that you may be posting on your website and playing on the air phone calls from notable Americans that may not be real.
Notable American.
That's what it says.
These
In
people
this-
are real.
In this
Melania
time,
Trump is real.
in this time of great scrutiny from the new administration about spreading fake content, this must stop. Are you doing this? We're not doing that.
I'm going to plead.
Mr.
I'm going to say no.
We're not
I
doing
can
No.
honestly say I am not doing this.
We're not doing this. And then it says, oh, wait a second, look at this.
What?
It says, and this is in caps, please do not read this email on the air.
Yeah.
See, David set me up on this. He knows that I don't have the discipline or the brain.
Why you
He knows
scan
I'm
it
like
before
dumber
you
than a
read it.
roll of barbed wire. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you give it to Gene.
Yeah.
He won't read it. It says, do not read this on the air nor discuss this concern of ours on the air.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah. So.
Huh.
And so let's not read it on the air.
I will not read
So
it.
read that again, please. I couldn't hear you the first time.
Yeah.
Now, hey, Jerry, Megan and I wanted to ask you this. I don't know that I advise you to give the answer, but we have to ask. We, at the production dinner last Tuesday,
Yeah.
Megan, do you remember this?
Oh,
we
I do.
saw some photos, which Jerry, you know, like stupidly showed, oh, look at this. And he got out his cell phone and he showed us these pictures. And would you agree, Megan, he told us the story, which I'm going to beg him to tell here on the air. And I will
Oh,
tell
he
you,
has to. Yep.
Megan,
Well,
would you agree this is probably the best Jerry Springer story ever?
It's
And-
one of my favorites for sure.
well,
Hey, wait! It even beats the one where you're in a restaurant bathroom in some Italian city,
Capri.
and you basically, and I'm just going to tell it like it is. Parents, put your hands over your kids' ears. You basically pissed all over yourself, and you had to go outside in the middle of the day on the streets of Capri.
First of all, it was the evening. Thank you.
That's true. You peed all over
That is
yourself.
probably my favorite
You
Jerry
thought your
Springer
deal
story
was out and
ever.
it wasn't. You just peed all over yourself. Isn't that true?
Yeah, but but the point of that story was my quick thinking.
Yeah, which was what?
Well, you know, this was like 10 years ago, and the fashion was to wear those. The pants you wore were wide leg pants, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. So, yeah, I did what I did, and suddenly I realized, oh my God, because you know they have guys will know this when you're in a restaurant or whatever, and there's a urinal. Often on top of the urinal on the wall is like a newspaper or
Sports page.
sports page, and you're sitting there so I'm there reading, and all of a sudden, oh, this is warm. And I go, well, this is horrible.
Yeah.
And they were light-colored pants, so there was no way. Just now, and you know, there are enough people there that knew who I was. What am I going to do? There's, you know, and if put yourself in this position. What would you do?
Guys, anybody here ever peed on themselves in a restaurant? We got a couple hands going.
You must be in politics. So, but very quick thinking. Well, it wasn't that quick because I was there thinking, oh my gosh, and Mickey is waiting outside.
Your
wife is waiting outside for me. And so I suddenly had this great idea because I'm standing there and there are people behind me waiting their turn. So I had to think. So I quickly turned around. I went to the sink and I threw water all over me as if, shirt and everything. So no one thinks it's that. The sink exploded and got water all over me. So I go outside and Mickey says, "What the?" And I said, "Honey, the faucet at the sink, it's just one of those things you hit and then it exploded. And it was water. I got drenched. I put it on my glasses, my face, my hair, everything." So, and then I told her the story.
Is that a great Jerry Springer story?
But not as good.
Better. We got one better.
Well, this,
we got one better.
Yeah, this wasn't anything.
You are going to tell it. You going to tell it? Oh, I want you to tell it.
No, I really.
But you really should.
No, nothing.
What is he telling? I don't even know the story. Tell it, Jerry.
This is the. Well, a family member wanted. We're looking for plots to be buried. And so when you're my age, that's what you do. So we. But anyway, this wasn't me. This was another member of my family, and my parents are already in the plot. And they wanted to move the plot a little bit so it could be larger and more family members could be part of it. And
better view, higher ground.
Yeah, a nice tree, and they could put a bench there. So basically, I was at, would you be okay if we moved Mom and Dad?
Wait a minute.
It's called a disinterment.
Like with a backhoe and dig up that?
No, it's called, I didn't know anything about it. It's a disinterment where they literally pick the coffin, they dig, get the coffin, and they move it to the new location. Well, it struck me as this is crazy, but, I said, fine, if that's what you want to do, I'm fine. And they've been gone over 31 and 32 years. So, but now it's the day, and I fly to Virginia, where they are, and go to the cemetery, and oh my God, there's the new plot with the grave, and their Mom and Dad's coffin down in the new grave, and it was just eerie.
So you saw your parents
Well, it was a closed coffin, I gotta say.
Well, not your parents, but like your parents' casket. You saw them. That's crazy.
Oh, and it really,
And it was a good quality coffin because that was still in good shape.
Finest.
The finest. After how many years?
And they did it 31 years.
31 years.
Well, here's here's.
So the words "rest in peace" don't have total meaning within your.
It has nothing to do with this now.
Well,
thank you,
plus,
Jerry.
when the rabbi initially said this is their, 31 years ago, this is their final resting place, he lied. Yeah. And here's another thing that's really, and then there was a nice service, and I'm joking. It was sad.
Pictures taken and everything.
Well, I showed you the.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah. So then, this relative of mine says, "Come on, let's take a picture." So we're standing. She's smiling, because it's a photograph,
like a selfie.
Yeah. I said, "What are you smiling for?" This is, So anyway, but here's the weirdest part.
Remember the photo, like smiling, like you're at Disney World? That's cute.
Yeah. Kind of like Disney
So we took another one where I said, "Let's not smile for this one, okay?"
Yeah. Let's.
And there was the rabbi. He gave a nice service, a little talk. It was nice. It was nice. Well, but here's the weirdest part. It's when we came to America, for the first year, we lived in an immigrant hotel in Manhattan, New York, and then we moved to the apartment house that I was raised in. My parents lived in that apartment house. It was rent control for 31 years. And now,
no kidding.
After they've been in their grave for 31 years, we move them again. Every 31 years, my folks move.
But always to a better neighborhood.
It's a lovely neighborhood.
Always to a nicer neighborhood.
I am going to burn for telling it. So, but anyway,
I got a call coming in. I don't know if I should take this. No, I'll say no.
It's my brother.
Yeah, no. Hey, Megan, do you remember about 1 year ago, you and I conned Jerry Springer into flying all of us to Cuba for about a week?
Yeah.
So we went
Totally.
all
That was
went
a great
down there
con.
on his dime. We said, oh, yeah, the podcast has to have episode. Actually, it was a very good episode about Cuba. Actually, it was very good.
Yeah.
Turned out to be great. We appreciate
That was a great
that.
trip.
But there's a problem with doing that, Jerry. When we realize that you have a lot of dough, we observe it. We don't know numbers. We'd love to know the numbers. I mean, just put me in touch with your
Have I
accountant.
not revealed enough about
I
my
know.
family already?
I know.
Do we now have to go to my books? When Trump shows his taxes, I'll show how much money I have.
Okay.
Not a second before.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But you have unleashed something in us. We've been
always a
enabled.
positive thought.
So we want.
We want more money, is what
no.
Gene is saying.
Well,
Jerry.
I mean, Megan's arguing.
We're making another trip?
Well, that's what I think we're going to propose. Megan's arguing just give us the money and forget about like vouchers or something. Write us checks.
Right, no, I'll make it happen. Just give us the money.
Yeah, just give us the money.
Yeah.
No, what we want to do is, and I think this is a brilliant idea. I think this is amazing. We want to do the first podcast in space.
Okay, you want to do that.
Right, Megan?
Is it polite to say you're an idiot?
Yeah, I have to tell you.
'Cause if it's
Gene,
not
I'm
polite, I
not
won't
on board
say
with
it.
that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And you notice I don't get defensive?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't call me that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
guess
we're
it
going
ain't
to tell
happening.
these jokes in space. That
Well,
adds to the quality.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
it's unique. It would be.
It'll be, and someone will do a podcast from space. So
Well,
why
that's
not?
my point. Why not us?
Yeah.
Why not? Even if it's just a low orbit, what they call a
Well, they
shallow
have people
orbit.
now signing up for space,
That's
in the
my
private.
point.
Yeah.
There are companies that will
yeah.
take people into space. Why can't we be one of those and do a podcast?
That
from
is
space?
one where I will send you.
Yeah, right.
Just
I don't need to
Gene.
go
Do I
to
get
that.
to be on the inside
I'll go to
of the
Cuba.
capsule, or do you think
Yeah.
duct tape me
Take-
to the outside?
Take a walk.
Take a walk. Yeah, take a spacewalk. I guess it ain't happening, Megan. I tried.
I'm okay with that, Gene. I
you-
shouldn't be in
Oh, you
space.
wouldn't-
I was okay with Cuba.
Oh, really? You wouldn't go into space? You would not like that?
No, not with you. No.
It's fair. So again,
I
don't
would
get
go, but I'd
defensive.
be afraid I'd pee in my pants. Yeah, how do you get out of that?
I don't know. Hey, by the way, we have James Weston coming up to perform tonight. James Weston,
Hey,
Oh, I listened to Steve's interview and I love James Weston.
along with Hannah Matthew, who is going to accompany him. And by the way, James, I called James and, for that matter, Hannah, who live in the same house, different floors, unrelated, but they are kind of artists in residence in Ludlow, Kentucky.
Sure.
Because Ludlow's getting all these performing, creative class people moving in, and James is an example of that. So he's really good. We're going to hear from him in a few minutes. Jerry, I wanted to ask you a question. You shocked me driving over here when you said there are some good things, or at least a good thing that Trump has done. And I thought, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to ask you, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, there was one thing that he's done or affirmatively hasn't done that I'm prepared to give him, if he sticks with it, some credit for. And it was, I sensed a heartbeat with Trump. First time I realized there was a heartbeat. And it's on this issue. President Obama, which is the last justifiably elected president we've had, President Obama had signed an executive order banning discrimination against the LGBT community in, lesbian, gays, bisexual, transgender, banning discrimination in the federal workplace or with contractors that do federal work, have federal contracts, that you are not allowed to discriminate against lesbian, gays, bisexual, transgender. And, you know, we're not surprised at all that President Obama would have signed that. In February of this year, when Trump was already president, he was given, there was word that he was given an executive order to sign, which would have reversed that rule, that executive order. In other words, thereby you could discriminate against lesbian and gays in the workplace, in a federal workplace. And Trump has so far decided he's not signing it. So a few days ago, 51 right-wing members of Congress, Republican members of Congress, and one of them is Ohio Representative Warren Davidson, who seems to be the leader of this group. They signed a letter to President Trump saying, please sign that executive order reversing the order against no discrimination. In other words, let there be discrimination. And their grounds is on the grounds of preserving a person's religious liberty. The specific examples they give is if it's against someone's religion to be working with lesbians or gays, or in a sense endorsing it. If let's say you're a doctor in a federal, in a hospital with federal funding or whatever, and you, religious grounds, don't want to perform the abortion, etc. Well, here's my thought. Let's talk about the lesbian and gays first on this whole religious liberty argument. It's nonsense because we all know it has nothing to do with religious liberty. No one is asked to violate their own religion simply because there happens to be a lesbian or gay or a transgender person working with you on this federal project or in this federal building. I mean, really? How do you think you're going to hell because there's someone working with you who's lesbian or gay? It's just total nonsense. It is done only for the political purpose of trying to pick up people that are, let's say, on the Christian right and pick up some votes by doing that. If you don't like gays, by the way, don't date them. If you don't want to marry a gay, don't propose. No one is forcing you. Your marriage is never ruined because someone living down the block is living with a gay person or is gay themselves. Right? It has nothing to do with your life. So just get over that. Now, one of the things this group really doesn't like is the idea that they could be forced, if they get federal contracts, to offer health insurance that would include birth control, payments for a woman's birth control. And they are arguing that if we have strong anti-birth control religious beliefs, we don't want to be forced to have to offer insurance for that. Even then, if you don't want to use birth control, don't. How is your religion hurt by the fact that someone that has a different religion, or whatever, even the same religion but doesn't believe as you do, wants to be covered for the birth control? Why can we just keep our noses out of other people's lives? It's not our business. It should be so basic. And if you're a politician, really, is that the reason you went into politics? To interfere in other people's lives, which has nothing to do with the development of society? It's so unthinking. It's so indecent. Look, I'm Jewish. I'm not Orthodox. But if I were an Orthodox Jew, I would not be allowed to work on Saturday. So you know what? I wouldn't take a job that required me to work on a Saturday. So if this is so offensive to you, and that's your decision, I'm not saying you shouldn't be offended if you don't want to be offended, but then don't take that job. There's no necessity for you to take a job that the part of the job is something that forces you to do something or requires you to do something that you are just uncomfortable with, religiously or for whatever reason. Don't take the job. If I were an Orthodox Jew, I would not work in a bacon factory. You know, just make those choices, but don't interfere with other people. And so, what I like about Donald Trump, to bring this full circle, is either on his own or because Ivanka got to him or his kids got to him or whatever, he is resisting this pressure or whatever it is and not signing that. So I think it's important that those of us who never have anything good to say about him, to be honest, or very rarely, I want to give him credit. Because look, in these next 4 years, we can't be shooting at everything that moves. You know, if there is an issue, you know, not everything that Trump does do we suddenly have a march about. We have to pick those things that are really important. And when the people on the other side do something that we support, if we don't say rah, rah, and we support you for that, then what is the incentive of anyone ever changing their mind on any of these issues? So I say to my Democrat liberal friends, no. Trump is good on this. By God, thank you, Donald Trump. You're good on this. Stay with it. Don't have him change your mind. I felt a pulse. I felt a heartbeat. Stick with it. You can be a good person and not interfere in other people's lifestyles, their religions. We don't have discrimination. Just live by that rule. You will never discriminate, you will never discriminate, you will never discriminate. And then start using that towards people of other races and other ethnic groups, etc. But if you're starting out with their sexual orientation or gender or those issues, fine. It's a starting place. Now we got to move into some of the other areas of non-discrimination. But it's a good start. Rah, rah, Donald Trump.
That's a very wise commentary. Good for you, and shows why you're rich, and I ride the Ludlow City Bus, which is a good bus company. I'm not saying it isn't.
It's one of the finest.
One of the finest.
Some of the people that call us ride on it all the time.
Yes, they do. Yes. So we have and as James Weston and Hannah Matthew are setting up, I'm going to talk about them in a second. I want to hype something which actually relates to what they're about to do. If you are a fan of this show, thank you. We love that. Go on your cell phone or on the website and look beyond just clicking on the most recent podcast, or for that matter, going to the archive, of which there are now, I don't know, several hundred or so.
Yes.
Yeah, how many do we have? No, let's see, 2 years worth, 50. There's over 100. It's 100 plus. Anyway.
104 shows. So.
There's a Listen Live button, and the Listen Live button says, Listen Live relates to when the podcast is on, like right now. We're on live, we're streaming live, and we're on Facebook Live, but most people probably listen to this through the archives. But the Listen Live button, when it's not live, like 7:30 on a Tuesday night, is a huge loop of all of their songs performed by the artists who come in and perform. James Weston has 2 songs on there. James has been here before. Welcome back, James.
He is great. You're gonna love it.
Thank you.
So it's kind of like a Pandora radio concept, where if you're sitting at your workstation or you're on a treadmill or whatever, and you're listening to our podcast.
What's a treadmill?
You can hit that button, and you'll hear this, as I say, this big loop. Jimmy Pruce, one of our key tech guys, is putting these up into the that Listen Live lineup of songs, and I think we're kind of caught up now, aren't we, Jimmy? Or
got a few more
close?
to do, but
Got a few, but we're getting there. So the point is, there are many, many songs you can hear, and we are really stoked about the quality of music we get at Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery.
Can we put Save the Union Terminal in that loop?
You know what?
No.
All right, Jimmy says no, it's not going up. No.
Yeah, good luck in your next job.
Let's see, Jerry, that's a smart ass.
That's smart.
That's Jerry. That's not a quip. That's Jerry being a smart ass.
Yeah.
Of course, Jimmy was being kind of a smart ass.
Yeah.
But, so,
Don't throw your red eyes at me. We put that.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's not on mic, but, you know, they're going back and forth. Okay. Do a song for us, James Weston, accompanied by Hannah Matthew. Let's hear it for these guys. And then we'll talk to them on the other side.
Thanks for having us again. I would love to say right now, I don't know if Megan, she's not on the phone anymore, is she?
I think she's
No,
not.
she's not.
I wore cologne.
She's probably
for
into her
tonight.
third beer by now, but go ahead. Go ahead.
She
I
would
wore
be, but it was a
deodorant
collect
and cologne.
You're what?
for-
Oh my gosh, you wore your special cologne for Megan.
For Megan.
All right, I hear you. All right, well, we'll let her know. I'll
She's not
text her.
here. Just tell her I smelled real good.
Yeah.
Gene, you can tell her.
James Weston.
First tune we're going to do is a song called Ticket to the Moon. This is a true story about a cosmonaut from the USSR that got left in outer space, floating around the Earth, and they weren't able to bring him home. And his life support ran out, and he suffocated while looking at the Earth, trying to get home.
True story, by the way?
True story.
All right.
Yeah, Google it. You'll
Tell-
find his name. I can't pronounce it.
I got you.
I am in Ludlow. I got a ticket to the moon. Hope I arrive the Friday and soon. I only want to see the stars. Now the countdown is here. The shuttle lift off, igniting my feet. I only want to see the stars. I only want to see the stars. Where will I go? In this sky so cold and black, I lost myself against it. How long have I been lost? The capsule is spent and the money is gone. I'm never gonna get back home. But now your voice on the line keeps me aside all of the time. I'm never gonna get back home. I wanna see the stars. Where will I go?
job. I mean, these guys are both very talented, and we're getting to know James because he's, lives in Ludlow, and Hannah as well. And Hannah, I'm very proud to say, is the ukulele teacher for my 10-year-old granddaughter. And Hannah's very talented, plays violin, plays a killer fiddle. And that's not even your primary instrument.
Oh, this one is, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
That is the...
Violin.
Okay. What's the other instrument?
I also play the viola.
The viola, that's the one I was thinking.
It's a bigger violin.
Yeah. A bit bigger.
And James, so I was reading the other day this music blog, and I stumble on a fact that when you came out of high school back in
1997.
97.
Did you have that voice then?
No, that's a lot of whiskey and cigarettes right there.
Yeah. This will verify how much you love music. You get, as I understood from reading this, a full ride in football to a Big Ten school, the University of Wisconsin.
Yes, I did.
That's a big deal, the University of Wisconsin. That's not like a MAC school, Ohio U or something. No offense to Ohio U. It's a great school.
No, we were the Badgers, man. We had a good team.
But Wisconsin, and you then, so what happened? You got there?
Well, here's what happened. I found a guitar in a dumpster behind a Super Kmart, and I started writing songs. And so I was, in between practices and summer ball, I went to school.
Yep.
And in between practices, I just wanted to play guitar. So I went to the coach and I told him, I'm dropping out of college and I'm going to be a musician.
Wow.
So.
And here we are today, and you're about to head off again, which you do often, most summers or recently.
Yeah.
You go to England for pretty much the summer.
Yeah, I got
around England, do some festivals and...
Got some cider festivals in the Southwest. Somerset and all that places. And I go out there, and this year's going to be a blast because I'm doing a record with Crystal Peterson and the Queen City Band.
Oh,
they were on the show.
They were here.
Yeah, the horn section stuff. So I have a 10-piece band at Southgate House on May 4th.
Okay.
And then I go to England. And then I come back and I do the Whispering Beard Festival, which is
we did that.
Catfish here at Folk School Coffee Parlor. He and his brother and Buffalo Wobbs run.
Yep.
Okay.
We're doing the Beard Festival, and then me and Hannah are going to go to on tour with Willie T. Taylor, a guy who plays here.
He's been here a couple
We're going
times
to Scandinavia,
too.
And we're going to... So I'll be on the road until November with... lovely people.
And Hannah, you came, by the way, you were a teacher in Chicago Public Schools for about a decade.
That's correct.
You're here kicking off another aspect of your career, and you are doing some stuff with some public schools, which I admire as a former public school educator myself.
Yes.
But your life is like, wow, really turning into something a little different.
It's very exciting, and Ludlow is a big part of that. It drew us down here. There's such a great music community and a community of creative minds that just convene in such a beautiful space and a wonderful group of people that are very inspiring and encouraging.
True community.
James and I live across the street. He lives up on the top. We live down on the first floor, and we got musicians.
Yeah, and your significant other is part of the Harm Brothers. You've done a little backup for them
We've played together,
over time.
Absolutely, at the Whispering Beard Festival, and that's kind of what drew us down here. Is after seeing everybody and meeting everybody and saying, we want a cultural hub, but a smaller cost of living than Chicago. Cool. And I appreciated my experiences that I had over the last decade in the teaching world in the Chicago public schools. It definitely played a toll. So I decided to expand my world out to a new location and try new things.
I'm excited also to live in Ludlow. I'm part of this creative class in Ludlow. I'm here as well.
How did you get
Gene was jamming on the front porch the other day.
Well, he does jam.
You were jamming. He's like, it feels like New York.
Well, it's funny. I look out the window of the Folk School Coffee Parlor, and James is over there just, nonchalantly sitting out on the stoop, as you would say, if we were in Brooklyn or the Bronx or something, playing. And I grab my guitar, which is sometimes in the back of my car, and I go over and we did a couple songs. And it felt real comfortable too. Yep. It didn't feel weird. I'm pressing Jerry Springer to move to Ludlow and run for mayor of Ludlow.
Jerry, listen. Jerry. There's a house down the street for like $27,000.
There you go, man.
Right
27,000.
Yeah,
You can buy it right out.
Really?
You in this town.
I'll replace your windows for free.
Yeah, right.
27,000. God, that's 10 minutes of work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's
I'm
a smart
sorry.
ass. That's a smart ass. Hey, do a second song for us, James.
Second song. All right, this song is called Falling from Mars. I moved out to Los Angeles, California when I first lived here, and I met Casey and all them in Covington. And then I moved to L.A. to go write for my family. And I don't want to get too political, but they're Scientologists.
There you go.
And they stole this song, but I'm stealing it back because it's mine. It's called Falling from Mars. It goes like this. Baby, you were right in my life. A dawn of fire burning through this blackened sky. You were so beautiful, and now I see through your eyes, from blue to gray. Your changes left me paralyzed. Oh, my mind. You were cold like a winter, and I'm falling from Mars. You were cold like winter, and I'm falling from Mars. Baby, I begin my retreat. This disillusion has brought us to this paradigm. Oh yeah. And I'm so incomplete. You're on your knees, begging me to realize. Oh, my mind. You were cold like winter, yeah, you were. Hey, I'm falling from Mars. I'm falling from Mars. Baby, I am falling from You know what's funny about that song, Jerry?
What?
That song, I found out a year later because I'm not connected to that song, and other than I wrote it.
Yeah.
That song won Feel Good Song of the Year for the LA Film Festival back in 2008.
And you
Feel Good Song of the Year. Oh, that's like, it was such a happy tune.
Feels good, like a good cry.
It felt so good.
This is great. James, Weston, and Hannah, man.
You're the
This has
best.
been
You guys are
wonderful.
great.
We appreciate
You ready to sing with me?
Hey, James, before you take us out, I want to urge people to go to your Facebook page because on there, I think that's where I read the blog about University of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But there's also like a story and video, and maybe a festival you did last year
in England
where you played,
where I burned the piano.
Played the piano like he's playing a digital piano here, which is wonderful, good Yamaha.
Yeah.
But you burned up the piano. I'm watching you play.
We actually lit it on fire.
Yeah. And so you're playing it, it's on fire all around. You're kind of backing off a little bit. And
yeah, my friend Charlie bought that piano for 99p. It was a kind of a bad piano, but like this this many keys worked, you know. So I played the whole weekend of the festival on that piano, and then he picked it up in his tractor and we moved it to the giant bonfire. We lit it on fire, and I played. What's his name?
Great Balls of Fire.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry
Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee would have been jealous of that.
Yeah.
So now I don't know what I'm going to do at that festival this year.
Yeah, you got to top that.
How am I going to do that? You know?
Yeah. Well, hey, go with us in space when the Jerry Springer podcast goes in space.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
All right. Hey,
Jerry, I'll be with you, brother. I've always wanted to go to outer space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I'll be the one that's not coming back.
Yeah. Hey, take us out on Down by the Riverside. James.
All right, we're going to do this in the key of D. I don't know the key, but like I'm going to do it in D.
Hey, that's Jerry's key.
Jerry's key.
Is that your key?
It's one of my 5 favorites.
That's mine. All right, yo. We're going to do this kind of gospel-y. Everybody's got to sing, yo. Lay down my heavy load. Down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, gonna lay down my heavy load. Down by the riverside, study war no more.
I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more.
Break it down, y'all.
Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. I say, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. I said, down by the riverside. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Hey! Oh, y'all come back now, you hear?